Elbert Hubbard once said, "We work to become, not to acquire." Welcome to McBain Moments. Alright guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Manor. Make sure you take a moment and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. We work to become. There's a belief, or there appears to be a belief, and I think that it's inadvertently taught to us. And I don't know if it's taught by the education system or by our parents or by a combination of it, that the purpose of work is to acquire things. In fact, this is probably the actual source of the middle class problem. We work to acquire things, the things that make us keep up with the Joneses, the house, the cars, the computers, the snow machines, whatever it is that you want to acquire in your life, because these are the trappings that show that you've made a certain level of success. And there's a certain understanding that if you have certain things, you've made it so far. And so people work toward getting those things and oftentimes leverage themselves fairly heavily in order to have those things so that they can show that they've made it X number of distance. And we're all guilty of it at some point in our lives. It doesn't matter where you are in your career, where you are on the social ladder. We all do it. But the purpose of work should not be to acquire the goods. The goods come with the progress. That's not the items themselves are not intrinsically bad. But the goal itself should not be the acquisition of those material possessions. The purpose should be to become what you're looking to become. Who is it that you want to be? Now, this isn't always possible at every step in your life. You're going to run into times when you're simply working to survive, or you're working in order to continue keeping where you're at so you don't fall backward. That's normal. It's unfortunate, but it is normal. And we all find ourselves in those positions at some point in our lives. And sometimes that means you had to take a step back when you didn't want to. But that doesn't mean you should give up. What you want to do is look at what it is you're aiming to become and continue working toward that goal as soon as possible. It may not be today and it may not be tomorrow, but as soon as possible. Because in the end, that's what's going to fulfill you. The nice house, the nice car, they're not fulfillment. They're nice to have. But at the same time, for a lot of people, a decent apartment's going to serve the same purpose as a house, and you don't have to replace the roof shingles. For some people, the nice car is nice to have, but I can't even really say it on the vehicle, because these days the vehicle for a lot of people is how you get to work and do all the things you need to do in life. So having a decent car, I totally get, as long as you're not, if you're in a position to buy, in a standard line sedan or van. I'm trying not to use brand names here, but your Fords, your Chevys, your Dodges, or your Rams now, excuse me, as opposed to, say, your Lincolns or your Audis, or even further up the chain, your Rollses and your Bentleys. Get the lower value brand. I don't like that, because I've seen some really nice value brand vehicles, and it's like there's no difference between that and the luxury line. It's just the tagging. So having a vehicle that isn't falling apart is important. So I'm not going to look to criticize people who go after the newer vehicles, because those aren't falling apart. But at the same time, don't chase after the brand name simply on the dint of having the brand name. If there's a value in it that you prefer, there's a certain amount of understanding there. Understanding that you may have to get up to that point. But the point I'm trying to make is, it's not the acquisition of the vehicle. It's not the acquisition of the house. You will get those things, if you get to the point in your life that you're looking to get to. So the idea is work to become, and the acquisitions will come with it. Don't work to acquire, because in your attempt to acquire things, you'll miss what you could have become. That was what the really roundabout point I was trying to get to. The things will come as you proceed up the ladder of your success, as you make it toward your goal. It's just a natural way of doing things. In my life, when I was working 70 hours a week and I was supporting a family of 3 on the one income, I drove a vehicle that was falling apart, but it still got me to work every day. Then, as I changed careers and changed tacks, and I was able to start growing in a role, and in my role, I was able to replace that vehicle with a new vehicle. Now, I don't own a house. I went from living in an apartment to living in a family home. So you could consider that a step back. But part of the reason behind that is the situation worked better for everyone involved. And so your individual situation will dictate what progress looks like for you. And it could be what looks like a step back for some people is actually a step forward for your particular situation. So never be on the lookout for that acquisition, because I gave up the independent apartment to live in a family home. Look to become that next step. Look to become that next level in your life. If you keep doing that, the things will come with it. This has been a McBain moment.